Hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who all learned this truth from Elder well. Peace and salutations to the 144,000 and the rest of the elect. To you I say shalom. Coming to you back with another lesson through the Spirit, and I'm going to entitle this one, The MOTB is about to be rolled out soon. And what is the MOTB? MOTB is what the scriptures call the mark of the beast, which is going to be a RFID microchip that's going to be implemented throughout the four corners of the earth, according to the book of Revelation chapter 13, where it says he's going to cause all, both small and great, rich and poor, to receive a mark, which is going to be the mark of the beast, which ultimately is an RFID microchip, not sin, not white women, not an embargo, because only the true prophets of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai are warning the sheep of the nation of Israel to repent unto Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai and ultimately be covered during the hour of temptation that's about to come upon all the earth. But really, only the elect, the remnant of the nation of Israel, which comprises of the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans, and the Israelite foreigners that are going to come looking like these other heathen nations, but their lineage goes back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. They're the only ones who are ultimately going to be kept during the hour of temptation, because the Lord is going to put the Spirit upon them to resist it, to remain faithful, even if it means being beheaded, laying your life down, which that's going to be the case for some of the elect. It's going to be martyrs for the testimony of Yahweh Shai. But even then, they're still going to receive the eternal glory, the crown of life, immortality on the first go around when Yahweh Shai, who everybody ignorantly calls Christ, makes his second coming. Because once this MOTB gets made mandatory throughout the earth, that's when the days are going to speed up instantly. And at that point, Yahweh Shai is going to make his second coming at any time, because of how bad it's going to be up on the planet Earth. So this is Revelation chapter 12 and verse, and it reads, "Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time." And it says, "Therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them." The only ones who are rejoicing at the fact that this kingdom, Babylon, the great America, this kingdom of Esau, Edom going down, is going to be the remnant and the elect. Because for deliverance, for salvation to come, this MOTB, the mark of the beast, the RFID microchip, has to be made implemented. And we can see that this current monetary system, this petrodollar system, fiat currency, aka the dollar, it's about to be collapsed. It's about to be done away with. And the elite banking families and their puppets, the Donald Trumps, the Elon Musk, the Bill Gates, the Jeff Bezos, all these technocrats, they're the ones who are going to be at the head of that, of pushing that MOTB, pushing it as a, if you take this, you're going to get privileges, you're going to get incentives. But ultimately, what is that going to lead to? Is going to lead to the second death, to those who take the mark, receiving that judgment written in Revelation chapter 14. So that's why these people in the world, they're not rejoicing at the fact that this kingdom is going down. No, they're bugging the hell out, because they see that the world is crumbling, that they don't have no hope, like it says in the book of Ecclesiastes. They're looking at the windows, but they're darkened. People don't have that same optimism that they used to, because they see that this place, the economy, society is all crumbling. Because it's going to crumble. It's going to be a controlled demolition, so they could bring in that great reset, what the world will call the New World Order, where the entire world is going to be under one government, one currency, where it's all going to be inside that MOTB, the mark of the beast, the RFID microchip. So that's why Esau Edom, which is the self-proclaimed white man, is about to make his move, because he can't lie his way out. He can't use the same psyops. So the only thing for him left to do is to collapse this system, to come down with that great wrath. Because when the system goes down, when the grid goes down, when all these 18-wheelers aren't moving like they're used to supplying the grocery store, the pharmacies, that's when people are going to lose their minds. And that's going to lead to martial law being implemented. Going to lead to a societal collapse, all hell breaking loose, civil war. And like Esau loves to do, he's going to bring that order out of chaos, which that chaos is going to be Jacob's trouble. And that order is going to be him introducing the mark of the beast, the RFID microchip, as that solution for everything that's going on. This is Revelation chapter 13 and verse Neuralink. They're able to control their computer, play ping pong with just a thought. That those are the miracles that Esau Edom is using to deceive these people upon the planet Earth, so they could believe that it's a good thing. If you take this MOTB, it's going to fix your eyesight, it's going to fix your cancer, it's going to fix this and that. And this is not medical advice, by the way, but this is what this devil is using. Those same tactics of the serpent during the garden, when he used that subtlety of, oh, if you eat this fruit, if you eat of this philosophy, it's not going to kill you. You shall surely not die. And that's the same spirit that Esau Edom, the self-proclaimed white man, is coming in. Using those smooth words, like it says right here, Psalms, where's it at? Psalms 55 and 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. So he's using those same deceitful tactics of, the whole world should turn to electric vehicles so we can cut down carbon footprint. We gotta reduce the carbon dioxide of all these animals, the cows. We gotta cull them, because Esau Edom ultimately wants control of not just the resources, but of the minds of the people upon the planet Earth, so he can see what they're thinking, what they're doing at all times, how many times they went to the restroom, how many times they had sex with their women, what they're thinking about all the damn time, because this AI surveillance system has already been implemented. You got the flock cameras watching over the flock, the sheep. And what is Esau Edom, starting with the small hats, the tiny caps, the imposters of the Holy Land, call the population Goyim, which ultimately goes back to those who aren't part of the elite banking families, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers. They call the average people Goyim. And what do you do with cattle? You put a mark. And what is that modern mark going to be today? Is going to be an RFID microchip, which is going to be ultimately the mark of the beast. And this is how he's deceiving the masses by, oh man, this is good for society. We're going to be able to track criminals and immigrants. We're going to be able to track people who have a pestilence, a V. Jump back to Revelation 13 and 15. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And majority of the people upon the planet Earth, they're already worshiping the image of the beast. this whole Edomite supremacy system, the LGBTQ agenda, feminism, replacement theology, where the self-proclaimed white people, which are the Edomites, are the top race, believing that Esau Edom should be the supreme ruler for the rest of eternity. That's all part of the image of the beast, that pseudoscience that he's pushed to the people to believe all these lies. But now the people, they're starting to wake up. They're starting to realize that AI is ultimately not good for humanity. And Esau Edom lied. He's trying to cut carbon emissions, but yet he's setting up all these AI data centers, sucking up all the water, polluting the air, polluting the water and everything. But that's why he's gonna have to come down with that great sword, because he knows that these people, especially here in America, they're not just gonna willingly comply. That's why he's gonna shut down the grid. He's gonna bring in a famine. This is what this whole Strait of Hormuz situation is leading to. It's leading to a famine. Because if these trucks are not moving, they're not bringing in the loads to these grocery stores, these pharmacies, that's going to lead to a lack of bread. And that's really what it's going to take for these people to take the MOTB, take the mark. It's going to be for the lack of bread, because these Americans have that insatiable appetite. They can never have enough. Never fasted a day in their life. So these people here in America, they're right for the taking. The 2/3 of our people and these heathens, and ultimately even those who don't take it, that aren't part of the elect, they're either going to be off on this side, or they're still going to get those missiles. The only ones who are going to be denying the MOTB and still receive that crown of life, even if they lose their lives, they're beheaded, are going to be the remnant of the elect. Because at first, those who refuse the mark, they're going to be killed in a sense of cut off from society, cut off the grid, cut off from, you're not going to be able to have a job, you're not going to be able to work, which means you're not going to have a source of income. And you need a source of income to make it in this society, in this modern day world. You need money to pay for rent. You need money to put gas into your car, to get an oil change, keep up with maintenance. You need money for groceries and all the basic necessities. But that's why Esau, the self-proclaimed white man, is putting that squeeze upon the world, because he can never have enough. He wants to be like the Most High. He wants to be like Yahweh Bashim El-Shai, having his eyes everywhere at all times by the means of these cameras. Like over there in China, you have more cameras than people. So he's trying to follow that blueprint after the Chinese, having a social credit score. Oh, you set this on social media, you set this out loud, and the cameras and the microphones heard you, boom, you get your points deducted from your social credit score. But this is what the world is coming to. It says, verse 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. And this is the time that is knocking at the door. The hour of temptation is going to come upon the whole earth, like it says in the book of Revelation, chapter 3 and verse 10, to try them. To even us that are hopeful elect are going to get tried, but Lord willing, we endure to the end. We be part of the remnant. Yahweh Bashim El-Shai is going to give his hopeful elect, that crown of life. Regardless of the Lord, allows them to be martyred, or they endure to the end and get beamed up when Yahweh Shai makes a second coming. But this is what's coming. It says, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor. Because the middle class is pretty much eliminated. Now you either have rich or poor. People are barely able to make ends meet. But this whole economic system was designed to collapse. It wasn't designed to keep on going for the rest of eternity. No, this was an experiment. And the experiment of America, Babylon the Great, it's almost up. That's why Esau Edom is about to collapse this thing. So he could bring in that great reset. He could implement the MOTB, the mark of the beast, which is ultimately going to be a RFID microchip that's going to have all your information on there. Your credit cards, debit cards, social security number, your biometrics. It says verse 17, and that no man might buy or sell save he had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. And those who don't take the MOTB, the RFID microchip, which is ultimately going to be first and foremost the remnant, the elect that are going to detach themselves from this place and refuse to take the MOTB, because Yahweh Bashim Shah is going to put that spirit upon them. They're not going to be able to be part of the society, of the economy, to still have a job, still rent an apartment, still pay for your mortgage, your car. No, all that's about to be taken away when Esau Edom collapses the system. You know, and here you got the third whistleblower, these Edomites, talking about the MOTB is the RFID microchip. Even they're in the know, but you got Israelites that know that the Israelites that aren't telling their people about the mark of the beast. They're not telling them what it is. So they're going to have a lot of blood on their hands. Because it says, like here in verse 18, here is wisdom, let him that had understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 600, 66. And who loves using that number 6? That's 666. The cerebral white man, Esau Edom. This is letting you know that this is the man that's going to bring the mark of the beast, the RFID microchip, is going to be implemented throughout the earth. So, you know, so there's this whole system of going to work, paying taxes, all this daily routine that these people are used to. It's all about to be done away with. This is Psalm 64 and verse 5, the NLT. They encourage each other to do evil and plan how to set their traps in secret. Who will ever notice, they ask. Because they're straight up telling the whole world, this is what we're about to do. We're about to crash this system. You're going to own nothing and be happy. But yet nobody's stopping them. But that's that pride that Yahweh Bashim Shai has deceived these devils to thinking that they're going to get away with it. It says verse 6, and they plot their crimes. They say, we have devised a perfect plan. Yet the human heart and mind are cunning. So these Edomites, these starting with the elite banking families, the Rothschilds and Rockefellers, in their mind, they think, oh man, this is the perfect plan. Putting an RFID microchip inside the whole world, having complete control of the resources, everybody's thoughts. You know, it says, yes, the human heart and mind are cunning. It's a stupid plan. Because how are you going to be able to upkeep all these data centers for eternity? Sucking up all the water, never keeping a land Sabbath. He would end up destroying himself. That's why Yahweh Bashim Shai is speeding up the days, and he has to put a stop to this devil. It says, verse 7, Lord's not going to allow these devils to enjoy that blessing. Yeah, he's going to allow them to set it up, you know, to put an RFID microchip inside majority of the world. But they're not going to be able to fully enjoy that new world order. It says, verse 8, their own tongues will ruin them, and all who see them will shake their heads in scorn. So the only ones who know that these devils aren't going to be successful with their mass rollout of the MOTB, their new world order, the great reset, are the remnant and the elect. Because ultimately Yahweh Shai already got the victory over this world, you know, along with his remnant and his elect. But that's pretty much the point. I pray that this was edifying unto the elect. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Makakadosh. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who all learned this truth from all grew well. Peace and salutations to the 144,000, the rest of the elect, unto you I say